For those of you who do not know me, my name is Necessary, and I am one of Non-Essential's best friends.
And my name is Absolutely, and I am Non-Essential's close friend and neighbor. It is with great sadness that we stand in front of you today to commemorate the life of our friend and neighbor. I lived right across the street from Non-Essential on Obsidian Street. At the time of his death, Non-Essential's nutrients were so low he could hardly photosynthesize. Still, he repeated his oath from tree school every day. I live because of the plant. I would die for the greater good of the plant. I am the plant. I searched frantically for an explanation of this life-sucking phenomenon, and that's when I met Necessary, who told me the following.
When it is time to senesce, about half of a leaf cell's nutrient content gets deposited into stem or roots and are utilized later for the development of new leaves or flowers. Thus, senescence and death in leaves are active developmental strategies that crucially contribute to the fitness and survival of our mother tree.
Non-Essential and I met the first year of tree school. Kids would say our names out loud in sequence, Absolutely Non-Essential, and laugh so hard their chloroplasts would change color. Non-Essential and I bonded instantly and helped each other get through a difficult first year of tree school. He was always there when I needed help capturing light or someone to transport oxen with. At the end of tree school, Non-Essential and I remained good friends. He loved the outdoors and had a small power boat. He and I would take the boat and head for Floam and fish for as much sugars as we can get. My favorite memory was sitting on deck one summer and watching entire leaves senesce and fall off the tree to conserve water loss from transpiration.
As a great paradox of life, the survival of our tree or any living plant requires the active removal of unwanted cells, a process called aging, or some may refer to it as senescence. This is essentially what happened to Non-Essential. Programmed cell death is crucial for development in plants. For example, in our brethren Procambium cells, their cell contents are removed to form the vascular system. But programmed cell death, or senescence, not only happens at the cellular or organ level.
I find solace in the fact that at the organismal layer, if a plant senses environmental stress, instead of growing any further, it will perform an altruistic act and begin to set seeds so that when conditions become favorable, those new seeds can germinate and start the plant life cycle over again.
We'd like to tell the story of how Non-Essential was cleaved off the plant, along with the rest of the leaf cells, on the other side of Abscission Street, so that we can commemorate Non-Essential and remember him for the quality of cell he was, even at the time of his death. Each fall, our precious deciduous mother tree sheds its leaf to avoid the high cost of winterizing them. The tree does this by breaking down cells in order to recoup the nutrients in them and store them inside twigs and branches until next spring. As the disassembly starts, the chlorophyll molecules that absorb the sunlight for photosynthesis are still absorbing the sun's energy. But with no photosynthesis happening, they end up passing the unused energy to the oxygen molecules, which become dangerously reactive when energized. In order to keep destruction to a minimum, leaves break down their chlorophyll into less dangerous molecules that are typically transparent or yellow. This is why we see yellow leaves in the fall. The red leaf color seen on some trees is due to the production of anthocyanins, which essentially block the still active chlorophyll from capturing any more of the sun's energy.
Back in tree school, we used to hang around with a good friend, Cytokinin. Then, as Non-Essential and I were growing and learning to metabolize, Cytokinin began to shun us, and Non-Essential and I started hanging out with him less. Our professors would say that it's good to have friends like Cytokinin because it keeps you young and active. Eventually, Cytokinin abandoned us, just like life abandoned my dear friend. And when Non-Essential senesced, Cytokinin was not part of his circle of friends, and that is also why Cytokinin is not here today. But who were in Non-Essential's circle of friends besides Necessary and I? They were those hostile new friends of his, namely Ethylene, the leader of the bandits, and NAC alongside WRKY, which are senescence-associated genes that encode transcription factors involved in promoting senescence. But ethylene was not the only hormone involved in signaling the start of senescence. His friend, Bad People Can Have Friends Too, ABA, also played a role in shortening non-essentials' life.
It is our belief that part of the reason for non-essentials' tragic and inevitable death was due to bad company. The details are gory, but essentially the cell wall and the lamella that held my friend in place were degraded by cellulase and pectinase enzymes. The increase in expression of those enzymes, mediated by who other than ethylene and a slurry of other senescence-associated genes, all working in unison, corrupting my friend, a sad death triggered by both the onset of age and the workings of a set of life-takers acting on behalf of the mother system. A grand scheme involving my noble friend, and culminating in non-essential senility and deteriorating health. A whole region of cells also suffered the same enzyme-degrading fate, marked by living on the weak side of abscission street. With his cell wall degraded, and the pectin that was holding him in place now missing, and the vascular system being the only thing connecting the cell to the stem now, all non-essential could hold on to was the sheer hope that one day, in the not-so-distant future, seeds will be set. The mother will give her life, just as non-essential had done, and that life will continue.
In the end, the fate of our loving friend and neighbor will be revisited again and again by us, if not by you all on Earth. Let us not forget that it was cytokinin shunting us that eventually led to the diminishment of non-essentials youth, and that the workings of ethylene and ABA, but mainly ethylene, along with NAC and WRKY transcription factors, will be revisited because this hormone ethylene and his friends are insidious and corrupt all they are told to. As necessary and I mature, the detection of ethylene will activate the downstream signaling pathway leading to our very own senescence. We are but stars now, a reminder that the same fate that befell non-essential can and will take hold of us too.
In the words of our dying friend, I have lived long enough. My way of life has fallen into the sear, the yellow leaf.